wristbands already. I was late because this dude. I was supposed to leave the house at 7:30. We left at 8 because of him. And we got here exactly at 9. So
definitely my fault.
it's his fault. He was late.
Yeah, that's
I
my
was
fault.
early.
I wanted breakfast, but
I skipped it for the love of Bryke. 10:45 and we're still just chilling here. The meetup starts at 7, so we got time. We're in line for the meetup and it's 5:30. They're not letting us in until 6. We were in the front of the line, but then we were good citizens and we went when they told us to, but no one else went. So we're in the back of the line now. Oh my god, this is our seats. We're like super close. We're like literally front row. We're like exclusive. 6:30. 30 minutes. We're getting angsty. Literally a minute left and I just already can't breathe. Like they're not even here yet and I can't breathe. Do you have a Okay, so Jen just like posted this on Instagram, so that means that she's here in the building. She's in the building. Just get out already, please.
Would I like to say some words? No, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for coming, and I feel like I am here for the same reason that you are, which is that any opportunity I have to be around Mike and Brian, I snatch up. And so often, you know, I do a lot of cons, and sometimes I frequently get a lot of questions that I don't feel like I can answer because they have to do with what's going on in these brains. And so what I should have done is like reach out to a lot of you and been like, can you ask them these 5 questions? Because then I could get answers for myself. But I'm just sending you psychic vibes to answer some of the questions that I get asked.
What do you usually say?
I say that Aang would win because I know that Korra's very stubborn and headstrong, but I think ultimately she's extremely deferential to and respectful of Aang. And that at the end of the day, she would just lay down and be like, do what you gotta do. You came before me. You know what I mean? But listen, if I'm wrong, this is very good information for me to have.
I think, I've never even thought of that. It reminds me of the scene in Stand By Me where they're like, you know, Mighty Mouse would totally beat Superman. It's kind of like two worlds that wouldn't meet, you know? But I think you are always your own worst enemy. So, in a way, they would always like defeat each other, or it would just be like the worst stalemate, you know, something like that. But that,
yeah, I feel like they wouldn't. I mean, they would talk it out. Yeah.
I think it's like, you know, I watch a lot of fighting, and it's like they'll say like, you know, 9 times out of 10 I'll beat that person, but there's always that one, and I feel like 9 times out of 10 Aang would just get away. There's always that one time Korra like gets a hold of his like cowl and then just beats the crap out of him.
Just grabs him by the neck and just like shakes him.
Are there any plans or details like integrate kind of Suki's future in the Legend of Korra, or any kind of bring back for her at all?
Well, she has a little cameo in the new comic. So she's always, we try to keep the old characters alive in the comics. So there's some Suki, there's a lot of May in the new Smoke and Shadow.
You know, going into even like the first book, what characters from the old series you had in mind to reintroduce or, you know, tip your hat to in some way?
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mike and I, when we came back to do a new series, it wasn't to continue the old series. That was never the goal. It was to do a new series in that world. That said, we wanted, you know, the legacy of those characters to extend into the new stories. You know, much of the way the world was the way it became that way because of what those characters did and the events of the original story. But you know, we kicked around different ideas of what those original Team Avatar characters ended up doing, and but it's one of these things like I think people, you know, when they look at writing and they find out like, wait, the writer doesn't know that? They're just making it up. They don't know what they're doing. Well, that's what writing is. You are just making it up. You know, this stuff isn't history. It doesn't exist, you know, somewhere already. And it's kind of like walking around in a dream. Like that next room doesn't need to exist till you walk into it. You know, and so we don't need to look in that room until we have to go in there.
What's hard for me is that it's hard not to have the people that you work with spill over into who you love, you know, because that's one of the wonderful gifts of getting to do the show, and for Nickelodeon bringing actors in and it being important to Mike and Brian as much as possible to let us interact with one another. And so the cast is so wonderful. It's hard not to, like, as a fan, I can sort of check out and think on those lines when I'm watching, but when I do events like this, I sort of have swimming in my mind all the wonderful people who are on the show too. And the only reason I'm going to say this is I just did an improv show with him like a few nights ago, and that's John Michael Higgins, and he plays Varric. So I have a very soft spot for Varric, in part because he's one of my favorite people on the planet, and I love the cast. But I just saw him, so I'm like, my sweet Varric! He does the thing!
I always go back to Aang, because he was the first guy we came up with, really. So he'll definitely always have a special place. And I share the looks.
Yeah. I really, from Korra, I really like, we were just talking in the back room, Lin Beifong. You know, I saw this band once, and the lead singer was like, "Yeah, I know you're not supposed to say you like your own music." He's like, "But this song's awesome." You know, and it was cool. I liked that he was like, I never understood why you weren't allowed to like your own songs as a band. You should, you know. Don't put them out there if you don't like them. And I just really clearly remember this moment when Mike and I wrote the first season of Korra together, and I was sitting on the couch in his office, and I was like, we you know, it was pretty early on. We hadn't even announced the show, and I remember just going like, oh, Lynn is cool. Like, people are gonna like Lynn. She's pretty awesome. So. For sure. And from the original series, it's always usually between Zuko and Toph.
What character from either Avatar or Legend of Korra would you guys cosplay as?
I'm working on Juan right now. Yeah, because, you know, as Mike pointed out, he shares some physical qualities with Aang and temperament. And so the joke when we went to do Juan, I was like, well, I'm going to make him look like me. And so I made him really skinny with like a triangular head. And so I'm just working on the hair. But,
yeah, I'd probably pick a character that has a mask so nobody can see him.
a lot of those.
Yeah, there's been some cool blue spirits, and Amon might be a good one. Or a chi blocker.
If you like your face to sweat, that's all I'm gonna say. The two that I get, that I find myself, because I go to so many cons and I see so much great cosplay, that are jumping to mind right now is I always love a Katara. I always love a Katara. They're just it's such a thoughtful, beautiful ensemble. And always, all the girls who cosplay as Katara always seem more together and feminine than I feel, so that's always great. But then alternatively, I always love either a Mako or a Bolin, Mako for the scarf and the wonderful drawn eyebrows that people do, and then Bolin because there's always a Pabu, and who doesn't absolutely adore Pabu?
That's a good, so she's wondering what about, you know, Korra had such a direct kind of interaction with Rava, whereas most of the other avatars seem to just be speaking with each other. And I think, you know, we didn't pin down the rules of the world exactly, so don't hold me to it. I know some people are probably filming us right here, recording us, but I would say,
Sorry?
I would say that,
Could you look into the
camera? if you could update the Avatar wiki for me. I think Mike can fix this, or but I would say that the idea there were so many generations of avatars, and that it was almost like the Princess and the Pea. It's like these mattresses of souls, like stacking on top of each other. And I think it wasn't until Korra had to like reboot the system that she was able to dig all the way back. So I don't think every avatar. I always thought of it like Rava was more of this sort of force that they could feel, and less of a personality that they were conversing with. I think it was easier for them to reach back just a generation or two to speak to an avatar.
Why not?
I have a question about your question. Because that was where we wanted to go with it, and it felt organic, and we had kicked it around since the first season in the writers' room, and then but we weren't sure where we were going to go, and then right around third season we started saying, well, we could aim towards this, and then it was just a question of how much we wanted to, and then how much we could show it, and resolve it in the end. And what you see is what you get, and then Mike's writing the comics now, which will continue that.
Yeah, so most of you probably know that, like the Avatar comics, we're doing a Korra comic series with Dark Horse as well, and I'll be writing it, and we are working out the story right now. So we'll get to, I think the benefit of doing it in comic form is that we won't have any, there are some limitations, but not in the sense of like working on a network, kids network, what you can talk about and what you can't and stuff. So.
The characters Eska and Desna have such a significant meaning to me in the art. And I was wondering if you guys have ever thought about what their mother Melina was like, because we never got to meet her back in book 2. She was just kind of like a distant force, and then what Melina was like.
Yeah, we haven't really delved into their family life back once they went back home, but they might turn up in the comics at some point, hopefully.
That was another, working with Aubrey was amazing. She's
Yeah.
we were huge fans of hers to begin with, but she's so cool and easy to talk to, and so that was fun. And I love those characters too. And I love the idea that her mom is like just nothing like them, or nothing like their dad. Hopefully nothing like their father.
But like a lot of like energy, probably like really.
Honestly, like she's really into tennis. That's a recurring theme with me, and I wanted Eska to just, or Desna to just like, when we see him in book 4, he's just like all into like tennis.
Okay. Take it out.
Thank you.
Oh gosh. Thank you so much. So cool. Thank you for everything.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure.
Melina, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good.
Oh, can you sign the laptop too, please?
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
I know.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, once like turn it on, the lights light, the eyes light up,
Such
yeah.
a great idea.
Hey, sorry that a lot of the clips were... Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, my camera was really bad. I don't know what was wrong with it. It was such a mess, so that's why I didn't get people asking the questions, and it abruptly cuts. I'm bad at this. But for the questions, I got them all. Like, I didn't get one. I know I didn't get one. It was so much fun. The wait was tiring, but it was fun. I've never been to one of their signings, so this was super cool. And the fact that Janet was able to make it made it even stupider cooler. So it was a ton of fun. She was so nice. As I was taking the photo with her and I asked her to say I love Melina and her core voice, like I asked Seychelle to do. But as she was about to say it, the security guard said, "Not today, Satan." And I was like, no, I want her to say Melina, not Satan. So that was like one of the only downsides of my night. I Snapchatted my laptop and someone was like, "Oh my god, you have this picture forever." And I was like, you know what? I really actually don't. To make it better. Light up, Avatar state. Janet's marker was actually really good. Alright, this is gonna be gone, so I should have thought that better. How much do you think this is worth? I mean, it's on the brink of extinction, like it's a bad laptop, but... Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm sorry for those who couldn't be there, and I hope this kind of helped. If it didn't, I'm sorry. I did get the questions. I'm sorry if it's shaky. It's just really... I was too excited. I'm sorry. I'm bad at this.